Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to go over the Packers 2025 NFL schedule as it was dropped yesterday to a lot of fanfare and a lot of concern, particularly about the order of opponents the Packers are going to face. So let's go ahead and get through it, go through the preseason games really quickly here. Week 1, we're home against the New York Jets at Lambeau Field, so just the first preseason game of the year for the Packers. Then we're at Indy for week 2 preseason game, and then home against Seattle for the last preseason game of the year. It is a Gold Packers game as well. But the first game of the year, the Packers are opening up at home for the first time since 6 years ago, actually. And we're home at 4:25 p.m. against the Detroit Lions. That's going to be a tough one. Even though the Lions lost both of their coordinators last year, I think that will affect their team somewhat. They're still a really darn good football team. And to start off week 1 against the Lions, our division rival, who we struggled with the past couple years because they became really good, it is going to be a really big test for the Packers. So, yeah, be fun there. And it doesn't get much better as the first Thursday Night Football game of the year is the Packers 4 days later after a 4:25 game, welcoming in the Washington Commanders, who, as we all know, went on that magical run to the NFC Championship game last year with Jaden Daniels. Again, back-to-back really tough games for the Packers here to start the season. Now, I don't think it'd be interesting to see if the Washington can maintain that momentum from last year, because you never know how with a young quarterback, if they're going to be a sophomore slump, if the defense is going to keep the momentum from last year. So, but either way, tough test for the Packers. If they go 1-1 in these games, that would be absolutely fantastic and show that they can hang with contenders. So, rough start here. But then, week 3, they're going to Cleveland. That's nice for them. After 2 back-to-back tough games, get a little bit of a long break there. And we play the Browns, and that shouldn't be any problem at all. So, yeah. Very fun there for us. But then, week 4, we're going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. The Packers are good in Dallas. They know how to beat the Cowboys, and I think that will be more of the same. So, probably about a 3-1 record here after the 4 weeks here. So, I think we can win one of the games against the Lions and Commanders, and then we'll beat the Browns, and I'm pretty sure we'll beat the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be that good of a team this year. And then we have a really early bye week. So, not a fan of that. I prefer a bye week later in the year because, injuries will pile up. You want to have a break. So, not great to have a week 5 bye week. But then, after the bye, we host Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, 4:25 p.m. in week 6. That's going to be a tough one. Mainly because, how the offense for the Bengals is going to be really good next year. I think we'll be able to keep up with them on offense because their defense, I don't think, made any necessary improvements that they needed to. So, pretty sure the Packers and Bengals will be in a shootout here, and we'll see who's able to win that game here. So, another one I tell you we can lose. So, 4-2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 3-2. 3-2. And then we travel to Arizona. Again, I think this is a game that the Packers will be able to win. I think Cardinals will be a better team than we were last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But another team I think the Packers are more talented than and should be able to beat. So 4-2 after week 7. And then we're at Pittsburgh. This one will be interesting because if Rodgers goes to the Packers, it'll be the first time that Rodgers is playing his old team in Green Bay. But the Steelers I don't think are very good. I think they're a very mediocre team, and the Packers are better than that. So I think the Packers will be able to beat the Steelers pretty easily. And then week 9, home against Carolina. Even though I think Carolina will be better, they're still a rough team, especially on defense. And I think the Packers will be able to win that game here. So 3-game winning streak here. And then week 10, we host the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football. I think this would be a loss for the Packers here because even though the Eagles lost a lot of pieces in the offseason, they're still really darn good, guys. I mean, heck, they're really good. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back-to-back Super Bowls this year. So that's going to be a loss for the Packers here. So where we're at: 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 6-3. And then we go to the New York Giants. that'll be a win. 7-3. I don't have to say much about that. The Giants are going to be awful next year. Then home against the Vikings. This is going to be interesting because especially because we had the Vikings so late in the year, it is really going to depend on how J.J. McCarthy plays in his offense. If he plays at an adequate level, this could be a very, very close game. If J.J. sucks, and I think they're going to stick with J.J. all year because they don't really have much of a backup option, then the Packers should be able to win this game. But right now, it's a toss-up. I'm saying since at home, the Packers will win this game, so I'll say 8-3 here after Week 12. Then we have a short week going to Detroit on Thanksgiving. This is going to be a loss for Green Bay. I just think because of the short week here, it's not going to be good. So 8-4 here for the Packers. Then Week 14, we host the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears will be a better team, but I think the Packers are better than the Bears still because I just have to see it with his offense with Ben Johnson. I got to see it from Caleb Williams, see if he takes that next leap. I don't know if it's going to happen in year one of a new system. Maybe next year. But again, I don't know how the Bears are going to be. But I think the Packers will win this game 9-4. 9-4. Then we're at Denver. This is going to be a tough one because we're going to Mile High. We are playing against a good defense with a solid offense by Sean Payton. This could be a loss. So 9-5 for Green Bay. Then at Chicago, again, another game I think the Packers will win. 10-5. Then home against Baltimore. Late in the year, that's going to be rough. It's going to be a loss to the Packers, 10-6. And then at Minnesota, again, depends on J.J. McCarthy. So let's go 10-7. So this is a really, really tough schedule for Green Bay. I just think that the way the bye week is really unfortunate for us. And the way we open the season is going to be tough. But I think we can win one of these two games here. If we win both, that would be great. But I'm just short turnaround to the Washington game. The Packers have two short turnarounds against contenders. That's not great. But we do have a break here with the Browns and the Cowboys here. And then bye week, home against the Bengals. That's going to be rough. But then we have Arizona, Pittsburgh, Carolina. All winnable games here. Philly's going to be rough. It really is going to be rough. Then Giants going to be a victory for Green Bay. Then Minnesota, again, depends on J.J. McCarthy and how he's able to perform in this offense. I'm not really doubting Kevin Stefanski and his ability. No, Stefanski, the Browns coach. Kevin O'Connell. Because, I mean, look what we did with Sam Darnold last year. But, again, with a quarterback we've seen nothing of at the NFL level, you got to be cautious here. So, I think we go 1-1 against Minnesota. But then we have this quick turnaround to play the Lions. And I just don't like these quick turnarounds against contenders. It's awful. So, yeah. Then the Bears, which I think will be a better team, but not that much improved compared to Green Bay. And then Denver's going to be a tough one. Chicago's going to be interesting for these two games here. Then we home against the Ravens that late in the year where Derrick Henry gross, absolutely gross. Then wrap up against the Vikings here. So the Packers are definitely going to be playoff contenders, but man, is the NFC North got a bad luck with divisions because you have the AFC North, which has the Baltimore Ravens contenders, the Bengals, who have one of the best offenses in the league and should be contenders this year, and the Steelers, who are a very competent organization who could beat you anytime. And then we have the NFC East, with the Commanders being good, Dallas still having some talent, and the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. So, yeah, not having a great time here. So, it's going to be interesting to see how the NFC North as a whole does, because I think in general the division is going to take a step back compared to last year. I don't think 3 teams are making out of this division, just because of the way that the schedule has worked up here. And so it'll be interesting to see. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below on the Packers schedule, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.